Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Watermelon again. Here to give you guys another video. Some of you guys might remember me. I've posted a few videos in the RWCS subreddit as well as a few other subs. But notice that I'm here at Reddit Xenon now. I was affiliated with Reddit Apollo, and we've since my last video, we've actually merged with Reddit Xenon, and Reddit Apollo has become Reddit Xenon's feeder. So it's been a great merger. We're looking to form a really strong clan. Seems to be working out really well. So from now on, are going to be seeing all my videos from Reddit Xenon. It's a great clan. Glad to be here, and I'm really looking forward to what kind of clan we can make. So I'm just going to do a little recap of our last war here. Had some nice attacks. Kind of a random clan, so the base quality that you get is what it is. But we took care of business, had some good attacks, and it was a nice war for us. So the first attack I'm going to show is, I think my attack on 6. So on this attack, again, I mean, it's not a great base. It's pretty easy to see where everything is. You've got two singles, most likely in the core there. Could be Teslas, but this was a cleanup attack, and it was scouted by one of our lower TH8s actually. So, much appreciate that, and found out that we had two singles in the core there, as well as around these expos. So pretty easy to deal with. I'm gonna do a stoned, but whereas some people, you might do a stoned where we would put a golem on this archer tower, this cannon, and then probably this cannon. When you walk breaker in, you're probably gonna not have a golem funnel in. So what I like to do is just take out that archer tower with 3 hogs. And the reason I use hogs actually instead of loons is because I thought that my hogs would actually get in there and take out a few more of the defenses than loons would be able to. Didn't get quite as much as I anticipated, but did end up getting that mortar as well. So got a little bit more than I think loons would have, as where those that our air defense would have locked onto it, as well as the wizard tower. So just 2 loons would have gotten that, but with 3 hogs I got 2.5 defenses maybe as opposed to just one. So that's just kind of why I did that. And then I stoned in here a little bit at an angle, jumped in on this junction here, gets me into the queens, the singles, and then it's pretty much just an easy hog from then on. The one thing that I wanted to really showcase in this raid was again the delayment of the Barb King. So we'll just, it's something I mentioned in a previous video, and I'll just show you guys again how powerful that is. So we'll watch this. The hogs are going to go in here in a second, take out this archer tower, the mortar, and then go ahead and start dropping golems. Don't need to waste time. Funnels, obviously created by a couple wizards. I took 3 wiz on that right side just to get that cannon out of the way quicker, so then my golems would funnel into the core. Wall breakers are free to go in and do that. Delay the last golem. That golem's going to redirect, go in there, take that jump. Again, haven't dropped the Barb King. Go ahead and now, as we're normally, you'd probably save that poison for skeleton traps. It actually is, as of right now, in my opinion, is more useful in these CC troops, even with high DPS. Can just really help take those out. But we've got wizards that are rage that are just going to smoke those even sooner. And now my Barb King was dropped. The queen's gone, CC's gone, he's full health, and he's ready just to rock and roll, man. And you can see how much I get out of him in this raid if you pay attention. But I'm just waiting for this expo to go down just to ensure hog pathing. So once that goes down, or is about to go down, I'm going to start dropping hogs. And then it's just placing heals. So surgical hogs, we're going to drop heals around these double Teslas up here just because Teslas just smoke hogs. And then we're going to do a real, 3 point defense, or 3 hogs per point defense surgical on the left side. The reason I deployed this way is because I noticed in a previous attack, as you can see up north, these spring traps really hurt another raid. And when you do large clumps of hogs, spring traps can hurt you more than when you use surgical, just because you have more hogs running over them. To where probably lost 3 or 4 hogs there. Actually, probably a lot more than that, but you would definitely lose 3 hogs per spring, so you could potentially lose 10 to 12 hogs up there, which can kill your raid. So when you have bases that are doubling, tripling up on spring traps like that in areas your hogs are going to path, definitely do surgical to avoid that. So pretty easy base, but just wanted to show that BK delay again, how powerful that can be. Now we're going to look at my boy JC. He's going to take on the squid base. I kind of just wanted to show this one because it is an internet base, so it might be something that we see again, or other clans might see, so it could be useful for you. It's a pretty straightforward base. I mean, all the bombs and everything are going to be in the core. So you're just kind of, rather than attack it from the left, like a lot of people might do, it's kind of designed to be an anti-go wipe, anti-go EV base. But if you're gonna hog it, you can obviously just jump in the core right here pretty easily, in that between that junction of the archer tower and air sweeper. Access the queen really easily, and then once your golems and everything get in the core, you can just start hogging and heal around all those other things. So JC does a really nice job at this. He comes in with the stoned. He's gonna funnel his whiz. Goes really heavy on the wizards on that funnel, probably just because he knows that everything is going to go in. So a lot of his wizards are going to go in there and take out a lot of those perfield buildings and defenses and things like that. Again, that jump just gets you in everywhere. He's going to rage like you normally would in a kill squad and just do havoc with his heroes and those wizards. Golem's still doing a lot of tanking. Starts getting bombs. Being really patient with his hogs, so that's good. Just waiting to get a few more of those bombs like he is now, and once he gets most of this core cleared out, then his hogs can just reign free pretty easily. Third bomb. So now I know he only has 1 bomb to work with. Hogs go down, and this base just has no shot. JC has huge heroes, but it obviously wasn't needed with this base. You could do this with much lower heroes. It's just a matter of getting into that core. It does lose quite a few hogs to that giant bomb. I guess he didn't realize that they were as low in health as they were, but obviously has more than enough to finish this base. Has another heal to keep all them up, and it's just clean up. So good job, JC. If you guys see this base, hopefully I can give you a good idea of how to hit that pretty easily. Alright, move on to the next one. We're going to look at George, actually, here on 11. Really like this raid. Obviously not a great base again, but it is maxed out defenses. Reason I like this is because he's doing it without a queen, and that's never easy. So he comes in, pretty direct line to the queen there. He's going to wall break this junction really nicely. That first layer, which will get him into both those compartments, and they can just jump in over that expo and be exactly where he wants to be. So he goes really heavy on the wizards here, similar to the last attack, but this is just to kind of counteract that absence of the queen, which is something that you really kind of have to do nowadays with the types of CCs that you're seeing. So you're just going to take a lot of extra wizards and then rage them, and you can deal with the CC pretty easily that way. So for me, I mean, obviously my my heroes are maxed now, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. But even when I was dealing with it, with the types of CCs that we have now, being down a hero to me isn't that big a deal because you can kill the queen a lot easier with rage wizards, as opposed to if you didn't have the BK previous to the poison update, it was a lot harder to get the queen. And getting the CC isn't that big a deal because now we have poison, and you can rage those wizards for those dragons and loons and things that you see in CCs now. So I really don't think it's as big a deal now to be down a hero. So that that is kind of a nice thing to have. It's still not easy. So good job on George for doing this, but not as bad. So the thing I want to hear is he just has killed that CC and dealt with all that really well without the queen, and he's being really patient on his heals. One thing I would say is his hogs. He took those defenses out. He could have stretched that heal out, more towards this Wiz Tower Mortar area because he's only going to really be under this heal for one defense. And but that's nitpicking. And again, he probably could have saved some hogs to take out that cannon just to keep his hogs on a nice path into heals. But that's nitpicky. He did a really great job with this base. Second heal placement was perfect. He's got his cleanups going and just destroyed this base. So despite what I said, it isn't easy to take out a base without a hero. It's just easier. But anytime you can bend a base over like this down a hero, that's awesome. So great job, George. Really nice attack down a queen. So good job, man. Glad to have you back as well. And there's the 3-star. So the last one that we're going to look at is number 11 by Booty Master. And so this is terribly shit base. The reason I just wanted to show this is because I've seen bases, not this exact base, but bases similar to this where you have all these things on the outside, and you just got expos and queens in the core or in some kind of pseudo core. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of bases like that as well, where it's difficult to get into the core because all your golems and everything, witches, wizards, because you normally try to go EV this base or something, funnel around, and then it just makes it in the core easily. But what I've seen a lot of people do, and the mistake they make, is they try to use a jump actually to get into this core, and that's not what you want to do. You would actually, and Booty Master uses the correct spells here and actually uses some earthquakes to get in there. So whereas you could only use it for, it's 2 spell spaces instead of 4 spell spaces. So I understand why people would make that choice. However, it's not the right choice because with the jump, it doesn't attract the troops as well as if you just break down these walls. The earthquake is just a lot safer and just helps to funnel troops a lot better than a jump does. Also, the earthquake lasts, once you take out those walls, they're down for the whole raid. So the correct way to attack this base, and that he does this, is he earthquakes in to the core and then jumps out of it. So I'll let you guys see how he does this. Brings 10 witches, which is heavy on the witches, but does a lot of work with them. As you can see, that's just a huge area to take. Just goes really wide with his golems. It's going to start setting the edge here with his golems and some wizards and just a few of his witches. And then once that edge is set, he's going to set everything down. They're all just going to go straight into that core. Now, to where if you would use the jump, a lot of these things probably would go around the edge and ignore it. Most notably, probably his heroes. Queens love to ignore jumps. But now that he's got this earthquake and he's set that edge really nicely, everything's just going to go straight in there. He's just ripping through this base right now. The defenses aren't extremely high, but they're not terribly low either. And then he's going to rage, get through that CC. And he's just moving through this base really quick with all those witches. Skeletons everywhere, and does a great jump out. And is just going to destroy this base. So I've seen people have a lot of trouble with this base, and you really shouldn't. It is a base you kind of look like, and you're just like, I'm going to kill this base. And then I've seen so many people just screw up on it because they try to jump in and jump out rather than use that earthquake. So just kind of want to showcase that to you guys, that if you see a base like this, use that earthquake and use a lot of witches like Booty Master did. Look at all this skeletons he has. Just killed it. So good execution, Booty. Took care of that base. And that's going to do it for us on this war. Just a great war, Apollo. we're really coming along. I know with this new feeder situation that we've got, really poised to become a strong clan. So I hope you guys like these videos, and if you're looking for a war clan, man, join Apollo, and we'll get you in some good wars, and hopefully see you in Xenon, and hope you enjoyed it. See you guys later.